So normally on Sunday, I try to have a stream I do where I just kind of talk about some kind of video on Fox, usually just sort of lampooning it and speaking about either if the person that's interviewing is acting crazy or if the person who's being interviewed is saying something I think is insane. Just depending on who it is, I try to have a position. But I've chosen to instead speak about something else, which was in relation to a comment I received on the stream I did yesterday. And it's kind of one of those things where I'm not upset by the person who left the comment. It just kind of had me thinking about things. So this person writes, just a quick remark. I think that your channel grew faster when you spoke of your life in the dating world. Many people related to that. Then you shifted to politics and all other things with no specific specialty. Since then, your channel has slowed down. It is my humble suggestion that you focus on that. Your channel would catch flames and grow again. Just my suggestion. Now, I've said before, um, I think the actual reason that we have the 2,000 subs, only like maybe 20 or 30 of which are actually that active, is because people just don't watch most channels they're sub to. And that's why I bring up the example of PewDiePie, an individual with 90 million subscribers who can't even get a tenth of them to watch his stuff. Doesn't mean his content is terrible and they should have never subscribed, but it does mean that there is a correlation, even that high upper, higher up on the hierarchy of this website, of loads and loads of people subbing to someone then not checking out their stuff that often. Now, the only thing about this comment that kind of annoyed me a little bit was the part where the person's like, "Oh, you spoke about the dating stuff and then you shifted to politics." Well, no, politics was always the thing I spoke about on here more than anything else. I did the first chick related thing maybe a month after being active on here, like to where I just uploaded, with a lot of recurrence. And I spent the entire next year. I think I might have spoke about the chick thing maybe one time, and then in 2017, when that was when I spoke about it a lot more often. And that's only toward the end of that year, and that's after that one video got all those different views for no reason, literally no reason, got them promoted. We've been over that story before, so I've tried to explain before that I like to consider myself a numbers person, right? Because when I had the chick stuff, get thousands of views, I couldn't dispute that did better than anything else I did, right? But unfortunately, as the numbers have peered out, I can't really bring myself to be as convinced of it. I'll give you an example. So the most successful video I've had this year, in a year where I've actually done multiple different videos relating to the chick stuff without it being specifically about them, just kind of sort of relationships in general. The most successful video I've had all year, which has about almost 400 views, is the one about the season 3 premiere of my show, which has it's literally about 100 views over like anything else I've done this year. Second highest is, I think, the what was that video called? The why it's something like I'm as selfish as everybody else, or something like that. And which actually it was leading the second episode of season 3, and then it just like fell behind it a little bit. My point is that as I look at those and I see the views, I'm not really convinced that the chick stuff is like my trump card, like the thing that's actually the best. Because the views don't tell that story anymore. Now, it was different when, again, you do something political, it gets 10, 20, whatever. Do some chick stuff. Oh my God, it's 1,000. We don't have that anymore. We have a couple of hundreds at max. And at max, the one which has had the best performance was something that has nothing to do with chicks. And again, that's not me disagreeing with the person about whether people relate to more or any of that. It's just me looking at numbers and saying, is this really what this person is saying it is? Is this truly what they claim? And really, that's what I've tried to do here. I don't like to really go by emotions, because I think that when you're on a website like this, where you can determine the interest of something based off of its level of success, like who's seeing it and how many people are viewing it, it's a lot harder to pretend like, oh, that person doesn't know what they're talking about, because I gave them the validity of saying, okay, I get that some people this appealed to them in particular, and then they don't check it out, whatever. But I don't think I'm special in that instance because, like I said before, you have other channels with this same problem. Um, Properly promote my content. Well, I guess, but I mean, I share my stuff on other websites, so I don't really know what else to do. I think I've already made my point that it's, in my opinion, is mainly due to the fact that most channels people are subscribed to, they, for the most part, do not watch. If you go to TYT, who have, I believe it's 4 million subscribers, look at all their recent stuff. It's like maybe 100,000, a couple of thousands. In fact, let's go over there. Let's play a numbers game. See, people like to do this stuff, and I guess I get it because you want to believe something, but let's have some fun here. So TYT, you know, they're all over Twitter. They're on other websites. They have their own website. You know that. Okay, so they have 4.3 million subs. Last video, 69,000 views. 26K before that. 91K before that. 94K before that. Do you see what I'm getting at? These people who have these huge channels, right, have loads and loads of people who don't watch their stuff on a daily basis. I'm gonna go now and look at this channel, right, TYT, and I'll go to some other channels after this. But I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna look, and I'm gonna see if I can find the last video they did that has at least 1 million subs. That got a quarter of the people subscribed to them to check it out. Let's look. 21K, 13K. Oh, this one right here, the View producers leak about Meghan McCain. It says 600,000. Still isn't even, like, that's their best performing in the last maybe couple of days. I just don't see anything that's doing that well. Like, as far as in comparison with how big the channel is, I don't see it. You have to keep stuff like that coming, which sounds a bit really draining to me. People Entertainment either is telling a sob failure story or doing something stupid / embarrassing. Well, that's my thing. See, when people leave comments like the one that was left, I have to try to explain that as a person who wants to continuously upload stuff, I can't realistically talk about the chick stuff that often because you run out of content. With the political stuff, a situation that's always updating as a result of it being a never-ending, ongoing thing, like a comic book, you're always going to have material to use and to talk about. And I've actually had someone who tried to tell me the same thing about, I'll read your comments in a moment, Mr. Big Dewey, but I had someone who said something to the effect of, oh, well, the topics are uninteresting. I'm like, wait a second, how do we have these people who get the, thousands of views discussing these issues? Can it be that these are people who happen to have channels where people go to as the primary resource for these topics, and they don't want to hear the same person speak about, or different people speak about the same thing? Could that be a decent theory? Because think about it. If I talk about something that gets, let's say, 30 views here, and they talk about it on TYT and it gets 100,000, which, again, still isn't even a quarter of the people who watch their stuff checking it out, can't you realistically say that it has more to do with the fact that their channel is much bigger, that they're getting more views? I would think that's a fair comment to make. Sky says you could, but it would be extremely repetitive. Well, that's my point. That, like, I don't know what else I could say about the chick stuff that isn't related to some anecdote that I just mentioned kind of briefly in the story. Because it's like all the people that agree with me on that stuff already agree that it's a stupid situation. In comment sections and reading others' experiences based off its topic. Well, again, I've never had a problem with that, but when you go on the comment sections of a lot of this stuff, people like to be draining and nasty for no reason. So promote. All right, well, I just told you I try to promote other websites, so I don't know what else to do. Okay, I think I've read most of your stuff. But look, let's go to somebody else. Let's go to Fox, since we're trying to be favorable to all different websites and whatnot. Okay, they have 2.5 million. Let's go through their videos. Let's see which the last one has 2.5 million. Last one has 1K. This one from 7 hours ago has 191K, 120K, 200. So again, the pattern we're noticing here is that none of these channels You know what? Let's do it another way. Let's go instead of newest. Let's go the most popular. Let's see how many videos they have that have over 2 million views. And when was the newest one they did with that many? Okay, they have one from 11 months ago with 1.6 million. Hannity. I'm trying to see what was the newest one to crack their total of subs. I see one from Tucker with that was from a month ago, 1.5 million. I see some stuff from 3 years ago. Let me go up to 2 million. They have a couple impressively, admittedly. 2 years ago, 1 year ago. Okay, so I'm not seeing that much stuff. Basically, I don't see anything that's from more than like a month ago. They have over a million. That still is less than the number of people who are subbed. You could ask bigger channels like to promote for a small. If you're actually serious about growing your channel, he has good stuff. It's a big one. Yeah, but like I said, Sky, I'm not trying to have be known for the relationship stuff anyway. Or let's see, come with the territory, unfortunately. Well, like I said, I had no problem people relating their own experiences. When you're going to come over there and call me all kind of names, like, again, what purpose does that serve me? Like, what benefit do I have if someone says you are trash? Like, what is there to be gained with the territory if that's applied there? It's a serious question. I don't get in what way do I quote unquote grow from seeing that. But yeah, Sky, I purposefully just, like as I went over the stuff right here, loads and loads of videos in all these different places, and only a few either crack the number of subs that the person has or overperform, which is what I call when the channel has, let's say, a few thousand and gets hundreds of thousands, like, just does much better than the actual number of subs. Very few channels have all their stuff just constantly doing great. And it seems like PewDiePie can get any of this stuff to do that well in comparison with the number of subs. Again, I'm trying to make that distinction because we're looking at the specific number of subs on each channel and then counting which ones are actually doing that well in comparison with their number. Promoted toward, let's see, and I'll tell the subs what your message is. Doesn't have to be about, it can be about just tell him what to say. It's your promotion you're paying him for. Yeah, again, look, I think we've been over this before. Subscribers do not mean anything if they do not watch the content. That's the whole point of being sub to someone, so you can be notified of when they put something out. Say hello to Dirk. Yeah, Dirk, we had a person who left a comment that, and again, I'm not shaming them or upset with them, but they were talking about how, like the channel has stinted growth because I don't discuss the relationship stuff that much anymore, whatever. And I was like, if you look at the views, even if it gets brought up, it still does barely any better than anything else. Like, as I said before, the video that performed the best this year so far has been an episode of the show, which has nothing to do with relationships at all. Let's see. I understand that the YouTube market is very oversaturated. Well, that's my point. That I don't know why people can't just admit when you have millions of users on a website making content, it's a lot harder to get attention. And that, if there's so many people discussing one thing, even if whatever you're making isn't, let's say, necessarily worse in quality than the other people, it's not going to stand out because so many people are talking about it. We have a surplus of content creators on all these different websites and only get roughly 1,000 views. If that, well, that's my point, Sky. That's why I don't care about subs. Because if they're going to not watch the stuff, what's the point of having them? It's just like with the, the good. I hate to get political because I know that drives people away. But when we would talk about the, the different stuff with politics, I would say, look, if you have two parties that vote the same, I'm not sure why I would need or be concerned with whether one is in power or the other. It's like Democrat or Republican. What difference does it make if they're going to both vote for wars and deregulating the banks? Just, all the stuff that we usually go over here. But that's my point, that there's supposed to be an intended effect from having this label or having this thing, and you're not getting that. Like, the point of subscribers is, oh my God, this person probably has these people actively watching their stuff because they're sub to them. Why else they be sub to them? But instead, it's just like a bragging, like, oh, look at me, I have 500,000. I'm only getting 1,000 per video. Like, that's ridiculous. Plus more, really no other way around it. You keep people coming back based on how entertaining you are. Easier said than done, of course. In general, well, like I said, we can easily go over. So I'm not disputing if having more subs is beneficial or whatever. My point is that if they are not watching in the number that they are, it feels kind of pointless. Like, if I sub to 10, let's say 10 channels right now, right, and I only watch one of them, what am I doing for those other 9? Other than adding to a number. But again, this is my point, that I don't understand what is beneficial about having people saying they're sub to something and then they're not actually part of it. Okay, Cortez says, what's up? Haven't seen him in a while. I'm not entertaining enough, Cortez. You have to leave. I don't have enough shock value and comedic effect, so you're gonna have to withdraw from the stream. You're gonna have to disappear. But seriously, I really hope my point is being conveyed here. If the relationship stuff was really that incredible, why is it that the last video I did about it, or rather the one I put the most work into, which is the proof romance is a scam or something like that. The title is something similar to that. Why is it only, like, it hasn't even cracked 500 views yet? After what was, like, 4 months? And it's only about maybe 100 views more than the what is it, the season 3 premiere of the show. So if it's only going to do a little bit better than the stuff I actually want to do, why would I continue doing it? Because remember, that was the point of even, like, being interested in talking about this stuff that regularly, because it overperforms so much better. Streams aren't boring. My streams are boring. Well, I'll have to check one of those out. I don't have an opinion yet. Sky says, well, most Americans have a short attention span. Hey, I would agree with that. No, like, I don't dispute that people will just check something out for a little bit and then they'll just completely draw themselves away. The problem is when you get blamed for their refusal to check something out. See, like I said, I can try to make content, I can write stuff down. I can't control how many views anything gets. So if, the episodes are doing better than everything else, and they're the main thing I want to do, or they're one of, them and the political stuff are the main things I want to do, I'll just go and do those. Like, I only started doing the streams as regularly as I do them, because people said they preferred interacting versus me just uploading something, giving them my opinion, and then just bailing out of here in like 5 minutes. It's the only reason. This guy says, not sure our oversaturation, man. There are thousands of others guys talking about relationships and their what is it? Oh, well, yeah, that's why I said that we have a surplus of people discussing and doing all of the exact same things. Like, I'm waiting for people to realize that it's literally just, you talk about this, and then 10 other people said the same thing today. 20 other people are going to say the same thing tomorrow. 30 other people said the same thing before. So, you're getting told, like, at some point you have to recognize all this stuff can't just be the content creator's fault. Like, again, I've tried to be attentive to my audience, for lack of a more wanting term. And hey, I don't feel like I'm really disappointing anyone. Like, I've listened to those have said they prefer streams and did those. If people want to speak about romance stuff during a stream, usually I answer their questions about it, depending on if it's like nasty or anything. But you get my point, that, like, I don't objectionably understand what else can be done here other than just saying, okay, screw it, I'm gonna do it the way I want, and just not do any streams, or like maybe do 1 or 2 a week, and then, just like do some little short itty bitty video about whatever. It took more YouTube tend to grow their channel. I think it's a mixture of things that contribute a with how over he is. I think a big portion is luck. Second is good looks. This is genuinely entertaining. Just my opinion. Uh, third is okay. Well, again, I'm not trying to argue against any of that. But like I said, I don't think that in a on a website again where there's thousands of content creators, you can look at that one person and go, "It's you." It's like, no, you're over there watching the other person. You choose to watch them. But again, it's all based on this like thing of, oh, just do this one thing and it'll all magically switch over. It'll all shift. Because really, I'm really for the most part content with, I guess, my own little small Hubble here. Because it gets the same problems all the big ones get, where you get little nasty comments people write to you every now and again. Um, like sometimes you do a stream and people don't show up, which is what happened on Tuesday. The only reason that was a big deal is because literally no one showed up, and I was just sitting there for like 30 minutes. I was like, damn, not 30 minutes, but almost 20. And I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. And again, if that's an issue, if people don't want to show up to streams, I can just upload stuff. Because when I do those, I can just sit there, have my phone to the article, talk about how stupid whatever the topic is, and then bail out and save myself an extra 60 or 70 minutes or however long a stream is. But again, I'd rather have a system where the people actually get to speak back and forth, have some kind of dialogue, and then it goes that way. And that's because people said they wanted that. Many sit there and talk about the same thing guys do and get more views. LOL, why? Because of their looks and change. What is this? And cleavage exposure. It is what it is. Oh, guys have cleavage exposure. I didn't even know that. Wow. I think you might have miswrote that, Sky. I told you before that if I had titties, this would be like a way bigger, like that number would be like 60 or something. People love seeing somebody dressed in a promiscuous way, just sitting there and interacting and whatnot. Look at how fast some grow and how many views they get. Yeah, people are horny. Like I've seen some chicks on here. I'm not going to say what their names are because I don't do that. But I've seen someone here that I genuinely don't think are attractive at all, either in what they're saying or the way they look, and they're still able to get more stuff. And I that doesn't bother me because I understand that when you're horny and you're online and you're looking at different broads' faces and you're kind of annoyed by some of the stuff going on in real life, you like an escapist media. You like being able to go on here and look at some chick and do this and know that she has no idea you're doing that. It's fine. I'm not shaming anybody for doing that, and I'm not mad that people in a larger number would prefer to do that than listen to what I have to say about the news. I expect that, but don't come over to the smaller place and go, oh well, if you did something similar, I can't. I told you guys aren't in demand. We're not in a large number. As far as like having people that think we're not expendable, that's why they'll ship men out to these different banana wars to get murdered, and then the chicks get to just sit at home and open their legs to some other man while you're away. Because we're just not seen as being anything of value, and when that's the case, you end up having to value yourself. Like I said before, the reason I don't talk to that many chicks anymore is because I value my time, I value who I speak to, I value the what I can and can't do, and that's why it's so much harder to talk about that stuff now because I don't speak to basically any chicks at all anymore. Just I don't care to waste my time with them at this point because I value it. See, I know I'm not worth much, but I do apply. I do enjoy your live streams and engaging in dialogue with you and others. I'm not mad just how most dudes operate. Chicks talking about video games that are smaller channels get more views than dude doing it. Yeah, but again, you know that it's because when they see that face or hear that voice to go, just behind their keyboard. And like I said, there's a whole channel that's based around this one broad that nobody even knows what she looks like, getting thousands of views. Well, I saw her recent stuff and she didn't get that much. But there's a whole channel where there's a woman who no one knows what she looks like, sitting back and like making this kind of stripper uh, porno voice to try and get you to watch her stuff, and then she can't even get half the people to want to, actually watch the stuff when she's not doing that stupid voice that, doesn't actually change the game she's playing and is meant to trick your penis into standing up for no reason because she's not doing anything with you and you're just hearing a stupid voice that literally anybody could do. If, you know, you'd like to have your time wasted by hearing stupid voices, be my guest. Cortez says we are literally in idiocracy. The most stupid things get the most views, while the most important things get a few views. Yeah, like with the Yemen conflict. I could easily sit up here and talk about why that's significant. The worst massacre or genocide in modern history, and it would probably get maybe 30 views. And that's if I went and spread it, on like other websites. But again, that doesn't bother me because that's not going to stop me from thinking it's an important thing that people are stupidly letting their tax dollars be wasted on for 4 years at this point, going on 5 next year. So, it's that views do not change if I'm going to do something or not, if I actually like the topic. There was a girl who was live streaming herself doing yoga, and a subscriber dragged 15,000 in her a subscriber dropped 15,000 in her stream. Wow, yeah. Well, that actually does kind of surprise me because people online are like they're tight pocketed. They'll rather go out and buy some game they only play like twice than give some Patreon stuff to somebody that isn't even asking for stuff usually. And again, I don't even believe in like that little thing of like all the different pay sites because we've been over my story before. I got demonetized by YouTube over and over and over and over and over again for covering the news. They're like, you said the word Iraq. We don't think this is friendly toward most audience. Like, well, hell, it's a country on the map that most people don't know about. But I mean, whatever's going on over there doesn't have to do with the fact that it happens to be there. Like, that could happen anywhere else. So that was the only reason I even got on Patreon. And again, I don't do the pay site thing of, hey guys, before we start the stream, make sure to do my Patreon and my PayPal, my Super Chat, and my other website, my PayPal. What were the ones it was like PayPal, Super Chat, Patreon, and my AdSense, yeah. And my Kickstarter and my GoFundMe. I mentioned the Patreon stuff like maybe 3 times, and that was it. I was like, you know what? We can't even get like 6 people to be up in here regularly, so we're not even gonna try. We're just gonna leave it at the few people that signed up for that. I thank them. Other than that, that's it. Guy says not even a joke. LOL. All she was doing was yoga. That would have never happened if it was a dude in basketball shorts doing yoga. Hey, that'll be my April Fool's video for next year. Me walking around in like some really tight pants, being like, "Hey guys, time for me to launch my feminist sex appeal." And then then in the chat room, we make like a fake chick account, and then the chick account gives me like $1,000, and then like people don't see it, but it's actually like maybe one of my colleagues I lended that to or told to use my account for whatever. Like people would act like, "Wow, that person was that horny." God, it's like you're really gonna give that some like I can see if it's some high end hooker, right? Because you're at least gonna get screwed. Like it's literally a person in the video, and like I would never pay anyone 1,000 for something that is online. Like okay, a couple tens of dollars for like let's say they want to draw me something or draw something for them, a T-shirt maybe. It's like not 1,000 for what? Is he gonna build you a new house? Damn. The most attractive men in the world won't get half as much attention as a mediocre woman. It's because I said people are thirsty, man. In real life, they're getting ignored by chicks, and all this little dating advice website crap isn't working. So they have to go on here to get horny. And again, I'm not faulting them for doing that, but I don't get my kicks off of this website like in that particular way. I think YouTube's a place where you can get a lot of valuable information when people upload documentaries and talk about the news and different stuff that you might not have seen in real life, but like getting on here and oh my God, look at what this woman is wearing. That doesn't do it for me. I'd like to actually go out and speak to people, and that's how I get my jollies. Are narcissistic, yeah, because all they have to do is just stick a picture of themselves on here and gets a whole bunch of attention for no reason other than them having a taco between their legs. That's the full extent of their powers. I have to fault them for inflating egos. Well, look, man, the chicks themselves don't. They like if people ignored them, they would not feel this way. It's the people of the opposite sex who empower them to, think that they're the hottest things in sliced bread. Can you imagine how much easier life would be if you were. I've said the same thing, Sky. Did you not just hear me earlier? If I had some titties, I'd have like 60 people watching this. If I was one of those Twitch broads, that remember the ones that like take off everything except for like a bra, and it like I was just playing some video game with the I would have, man, all my stuff would have blown up because I would use that in ways that people have been able to do for a while, but just not as actively. Like I would have that plastered on all the different websites and set stuff up to where the camera's like down here, focused on that. All of it would be clever, not clever, but it would be smart enough to fly under the their radar and whatnot. You could say through college with the Twitch donations. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like they wonder why all these chicks have more money than guys because they go online and do the the pseudo hoe crap. So they're not screwing anybody, but they're promiscuous in their attire and in the way that they decide to conduct themselves online. Like if you could literally have a woman sit in this exact same seat with just a bra and like some little swimsuit, right? And if I said, "Wow, that's a promiscuous attire," and you purposefully are doing that to promote your body over what you're actually saying and get people horny, as opposed to actually just talking about the topic, I would get told that I'm trying to shame someone over their clothing. When people come on here and say nasty stuff about anything about me, a-okay. So I said, like people in general have double standards that are in favor of those who happen to have vaginas, and they want you and everybody else to kowtow and approve of that, and I just choose not to. I can't believe guys are desperate enough to pay these random chicks who would otherwise never even look at them. No, I was on a dating website, and there was I actually have never recounted this story. There was a woman who said hello to me and how you doing and whatnot, howdy doody. I was like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on? And she revealed after we exchanged a couple of messages that she was a prostitute masquerading as a person who wanted to date people on this website to get them to watch her live show. And then she started telling me about, oh, if you end up liking me enough, or if I like you enough, well, she didn't say that word, envoy, but whatever. If I like you enough, we can travel back and forth and see each other. If you attend my show, and I'm like, she really thinks I'm stupid enough to now be aware of the fact that she's admitted prostitute and not think she said the exact same thing to, if not hundreds, thousands of guys that were on these different websites she's been on. Like, this is what I'm saying. People really think they can just clown you in all these different ways, and it doesn't work because I'm not, I've been around the block. I see most girls in the military always get help and attention for everything too. Well, like I said, I would implore them to join that. If you want to die in a banana war, let's have more of them with vaginas show up. We've had enough men get killed over that. I'd rather no one gets killed over that. Let's clarify before people start trying to say, "Oh my God, you're threatening them." Like, no. If you're going to have a system that requires people to go out and fight in conflicts that they themselves as individuals did not start simply because they're from the country of origin with this place, I don't think it should just be men who have to go out and do that. Okay, she tried to slip in the attend my show. Yeah. And really wanted me to think, oh yeah, this prostitute is gonna like fall in love with me after I attend her show and whack off to her along with 60 other people. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna get her to come to my state and we're gonna do something together. It's gonna be so great. Yeah. No. 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 What was gonna happen was that she was gonna have you show up and add one more person, a little stupid content, and then after that was over, you were never gonna hear from her again because she would go back to scamming another couple of people. It's like that song was like I'm in love with a stripper. That was just a tune. That's not something you should actually make your philosophy. Whenever someone's career is based on them trying to appeal to the sexual organs of the opposite sex, expect anything that comes out of that person's mouth that has to do with the ideas of romance and eroticism to be entirely associated with trying to con and scam you. Guys are better off getting a real escort instead of getting teased by Snapchat and video cam. At least they get something worth the money. Well, I said that before. That like at least with these different the prostitutes, escorts, whatever, they're honest about what they do for the most part. That one was she tried to play like she was an actor, but she revealed herself after a while. But I said that for that reason that like if we're gonna have a bunch of chicks that because people don't believe in waiting until they get married to have sex, who are promiscuous, whether they're a prostitute or a regular person, why would I want to take the chance of, like, you get what I'm saying? That like with regular people, with prostitutes, they act like they're the only ones who just have screwed multiple people. Like, no, they're the ones that are upfront about. The other ones like to pretend like, oh no, I'm a darling little angel and I'm Alice in Wonderland and I'm such a nice little lady. It's like, no, we know what you are. It's so silly to pay a chick just to send me a pic of herself, something I can find on a porn site. Hey, what's even funnier is I bet you can find that same picture on a on a site. Yeah, Jezebel. Sky says, referring to Envoy's comment, oh, sincere and are dead. That's why we live in a hookup culture and marriage rates are declining. Yeah, because people don't believe in actually trying to have one partner anymore. Like, the chick stuff is so stupid to me because it's a guy who wants to have one partner getting told by society via having to talk to all these different chicks that you're not going to just find one person who you can be content with because that other person you try to have as the one person that you're okay with / just want to end up with is going to have like all these little stupid feelings about wanting to do stuff with other people because in their nature they can't fathom the idea of just settling down until they've ran out of their juice. Let's see. Sky says, I blame guys too. Again, I'm not saying that one gender is the reason for any of this stuff by itself. I'm saying that there are two sides and both played a part in this. Like, again, the reason I even say the chicks did anything is because they're the ones who get approached. They're the ones who get to pick and choose what guys they associate themselves with. That's why I said anything about them in the first place. I don't know if Sky is agreeing with me or with Cortez or with Envoy, or I don't know who he's picking to go to. He'll have to announce it, and hopefully he does in the next few minutes because I want to get out of here. I think I've made my point about the channels and the disparity. Why is the media so focused on AOC? Because they can't get over that some little cutie pie bartender beat this rinky-dink veteran politician that didn't even take her seriously until he looked at the results and getting destroyed. I told you on Fox, they mentioned her between February and last month 3,000 times, like 75 times a day. AOC, 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 AOC. The politician, Cortez. The most powerful congresswoman that ever lived, apparently. Freshman congresswoman, anyway. I feel like they've written maybe 200 articles about her for like every month that she's been in office. Video with Yahoo News always talking about her. So is The Hill. Like, again, they have multiple senators who've been in office way longer than her, maybe get like 20 articles a year. She gets, one per every 7 or 8 times. She gets mentioned 7 or 8 times per every one time they get mentioned. So they love her, man. She is a headline maker. And she's gonna be in the news tomorrow when her and Bernie do that Green New Deal rally. They push feminism. No, man, that's been around way before her. Feminism didn't start in June of last year when she won that primary. It's been that's been around for way longer. Okay, Dirk says AOC and the only person that made that exist in Congress. Yeah, man. I told you, Ro Khanna gets. If he had a vagina, he would get almost as much attention, if not more. But unfortunately, we're not. Men are expendable in terms of both coverage and what they do. Like literally, man. I'm trying to. People really don't get this. If you are a guy, the media doesn't care about you because they focus on these different females in office just because they're women. The people around you don't care about you because you're not a chick and they can't think hope of sleeping with you or any of that stuff. So like all around, you're just screwed. But this is my point that like erase in your head the idea that these people are, because I've tried to say before, I don't consider any of these people my friends. Not to say, like people that show up in the chat or anything, acquaintances, whatnot, but I'm talking about just in real life and in the media, all these different places, they're all going out of their way to ignore you and continue the narrative that you do not matter. So treat them the exact same way. Let's see. Everyone just wants to screw AOC, honestly. I mean, Dirk already gets to do it. That's her boyfriend. He was in New York District 14 a few days ago, actually. We know everything about Dirk. His real name is Riley. He was with AOC before she won the election. So he's been exposed thoroughly. You can actually look up a picture of him on Google. Sky says he's in politics too. I don't know who he is. Alyssa is just another Hollywood pawn. She's not that attractive though. I mean, Cortez at this point, I wish people would just understand that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like, you know how many people have come on here and said I was ugly? Like, just so they could hope that the chick stuff would make sense. Like, oh yeah, that's an ugly person. So if I look pretty as a man, yeah, they'll like me. So I don't even, when people say someone's ugly, I don't even take it seriously. No, he was part of her campaign and volunteered for her and whatnot. Apparently, there's some kind of scandal that the Republicans tried to have about him, like working for her in her office. If that answers your question, your inquiry. But yeah, I was hoping to do a like coverage on the Fox stuff today, but I just said screw it because people don't want to watch it anyway. Which again, I would still do it regardless because I like to clown him, but I might just do it tomorrow. I think I basically conveyed everything needs to be conveyed here. Like I don't believe that the channel is doing worse off because the content sucks. It's just people have too many options, too many channels to watch, and they just they've been doing this with every channel. Like it's not just me, and I wish that people would objectionably ask themselves, how many of these different places do you see? Like, you gotta understand, if I have something that gets 2,000 views, that's supposed to happen with every video because that's the maximum number of subs I have. We're not getting that. And neither are any of these other channels getting on average the number of people who are subbed. Doesn't mean they're failures or that their stuff is so trash. I don't know much about it. Knock Down the House. Did you watch it? Oh no, Dirk, I still haven't seen it. Again, I've just been busy with this stuff. I'll try to. It's on YouTube. I'll view it if that's there. Most people just want to be entertained. Most people don't want to think or have a dialogue about various topics. Well, that's my thing. I try to make it have like diversify my stuff. You've got a show, you've got the political stuff, the relationship stuff. I don't really know what else to add in there. Like, and again, as far as the promotion stuff is concerned, I put it on other websites beforehand. Not sure if someone uploaded to YouTube. Oh, that's probably the reason I was thinking I don't even use Netflix. She said she wants attention from other men. I don't know who that is. Oh, okay, yeah, now I know. You were talking about the Curry thing, yeah. Well, they choose to be that way. Like I said, I'm done pretending like this stuff makes any sense. Again, I can only control what I do. I can't control anybody else. That's why I don't. Me and views, like views, are not something I'm even that worried about anymore because I can title something in a way I think is really attention grabbing and it gets about as much as anything else. So that's pretty much my piece on this. But look, I hope you guys have a good Sunday. I'll probably do a stream tomorrow because I'm gonna probably I want to do the Fox stuff, make fun of them, push it on tomorrow instead of today, and then I'll probably upload something on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I'll probably do another stream on Thursday, and then one on Saturday. But yeah, like I said, I'm trying to I try to give you guys content. I try to listen to what is said here. And none of this is meant to be antagonistic or tell people they don't matter. It's just, I'm working within the constraints of being one person who edits all their stuff. I don't have a team of people working on this. So I have to I noticed that Snowflake story did particularly well. That person that got rid of me over saying hello. And their little goofy friend that I knew for a while that betrayed me. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.